Hi. So, I'm recording this in post processing, and I haven't honestly been doing too tremendously great. And I'm sorry for the lack of content on this channel for a while. The problem that I run into, as always, runs as a constant theme with me, happens to be that I have horrible, horrible bouts of either depression or running into certain social situations that I should personally take the responsibility for recognizing the signs of and avoiding. And sadly, my more recent hiatus started off as the latter and then ended off as the former, being the depression. I am by no means good at making content, and I'm by no means good at motivating myself or finding the coping mechanisms required to continuously do so on a day-to-day basis, especially when I take my attempts at creating content on this platform as seriously as I do. And I apologize for that. I'd like to talk about the state of this channel, and I don't really have a script in front of me. I've kind of just got these talking points laid out in my head, in that sort of autistic way that people who know me, I guess, have come to expect of me. And in a way that's incredibly unprofessional, and I should do better. And when I make a video like this in the future, I should script it properly. But regardless of that, I'd like to talk about some things. Those of you who have followed me for a while and who have stuck around, have stayed subscribed to my channel, might notice the rebranding, the name change on my channel, as well as the mass deletion of all of my content. I made a community post talking about how I had been feeling about my past content and how, to me, the way that that content played out and those past situations that I was in at the time, the social circumstances, the people that I hung out with, yada yada, it's something that I feel embarrassed by, as well as going through the walks of life and the things that I am doing, especially with my voice and all of that. I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed by my voice, by the way I would interact with people, the way I would carry and present myself, the people I hung out with, all of that. And especially that when I would set out to attempt to make a series of videos on this platform, on this channel, I would end up not finishing. I feel embarrassed by that. And my name on the channel Ilionikoi, which was what it was for so long, for probably 5 years. It was, to me, not only indicative of a person that I no longer identify or associate with, but also a name that I felt was hard for anyone who might view my content to cling on to memorize, to pronounce, really. And that was partially embarrassing to me as well. And I'm watching the video that I'm going to have as the background for this, and while I'm recording this audio, and it's stuttering, and I'm sorry for that. I'm currently in a rather tough point in my life, with housing, with finances, with my own presentation to people around me, and it's a struggle, and I'm trying really hard to move past that and find ways to cope and to deal with other things in my life at the moment. But I want to seriously give a try, put effort into attempting to make content on this channel again. And I'm hoping that I can do so consistently. However, currently, with the way that things are, I don't see that happening immediately or really too incredibly soon. So I'm sorry for that. Uploads are going to be infrequent. Things are going to be slow, at least for now. But I am trying, and I do care about existing and about making an effort to put out content on this platform. With my voice, some of you might know I'm transgender. I'm a trans woman, and that's a particularly difficult experience and difficult existence and life to go through. It's taxing, and it's hard. It's exhausting. With my voice before, I had just started voice training, and it wasn't exactly, looking back, the way that I wanted to sound. And I feel like this now is a lot closer to that end goal and to that end result. And to me, that voice that I carried for probably about a year prior to now, a year and a couple months prior to now, I thought that it was fine, and maybe my own self-perceptions were getting to me, and that it wasn't so serious. I don't have to worry about it. And it feels like people around me were focused on sort of yes-manning me in a way, which I appreciate their emotional support and their attempts to show whatever care they felt necessary to me at the time. However, the thing that ended up happening was I ended up hearing a clip of myself that was recorded by the Outplayed app on Overwolf. It's an app that I occasionally use to automatically record clips of gameplay in like League of Legends or whatever I might be playing, mostly League. And I heard myself talk, and to me it was so embarrassing. I almost broke down, and I had a pretty serious bout of dysphoria from this, because to me, this voice I was using sounded like a caricature of a trans woman. Like I was trying too hard. And I didn't like that. It hurt to hear that. It hurt to listen to myself. So I sat here in Audacity for a couple hours and just troubleshooted with myself and talked myself through it and tried to find that balance. I feel like I'm closer now. I'm not sure if I'm exactly where I want or need to be, because despite my name, people still occasionally assume that I'm a man. Over the phone. And, that sucks. But before that, another thing that, really heavily impacted me for the past few months was moving and sort of detoxing from an abusive relationship, and then this stuff on Twitter happened, and I know, girl, just stay off Twitter. It's a cesspit. It's the worst place on the internet, second only to maybe 4chan, that you can ever go to. I spent a lot of time on Twitter at the time, and I met people, and I hung out with people, and I became friends with people. I interacted with wonderful people, and there were some tragedies that happened there as well, like the loss of Eden Knight among my friend circle, and how, despite me not personally knowing Eden, how that still in ripples affected me, like throwing a rock in water in a pond. You might not know it, but it does eventually reach the farthest bank from you. And the internet has become very hostile and very, I don't know, almost, and I say almost because despite the things that were said to me and to others around me, I'm not even really sure if I take any of those words on Twitter as seriously as maybe the person who sent them might have intended. But almost scary for trans people and for women and for people of color and it's only been getting worse in recent months. I mean, we knew it was going to get this bad. Well, not this bad. We knew it was going to get worse. We knew it was going to get bad when Elon Musk took over the platform. But I don't know if anyone really knew how seriously, sincerely bad it was going to be. And now I think we're at that point. And unfortunately, what ended up happening was this large chud figure, Ian Miles Chong. He talks all the time about how, I don't know, like women ruin video games and women are meant to be like dolls or something in games and media. It's seriously like chud talking points. It's things that you should completely gloss over and things that you would laugh at. And that's what I was doing. I was laughing at it. He makes a big stink over anything. And recently he made a big stink over this image. And it's of the new protagonist in the Fable remake. Now, I speculate personally that she's not going to be the only option. In Fable 2 and 3, you got to pick between a male and a female character. And I have no reason to suspect that this will be any different. And I also have no reason to suspect that there's not necessarily going to be some character customization there, but there might not be, because after all, Fable's kind of a story. It's a story game in a mythical world and all of that fun stuff. But Ian Miles Chong, of course, being the crybaby he is, threw a big hissy fit on Twitter to his several, I don't know how many, probably several tens of thousands of followers, who all share similar chuddy beliefs to him about media, similar awful media takes. He made a big stink about how feminism has ruined gaming, and this is what we get. This a horribly ugly female character. Is it even female? Something along those lines. I'll put it on the screen, I guess. But you might have seen responses to this from Some Ordinary Gamers, Mudahar, or any political commentators that you maybe follow on the platform, or followed if you've, like me, stopped using Twitter in the past few months. But I, laughing, making fun of it, jokingly said something along the lines of, A, she's British, duh. B, it's Fable, none of the characters are attractive. And C, she's prettier than you, shut up. And this, of course, led to pretty much instantly, within a 3-day period, me getting tens of thousands of death threats and assault threats and calls to trans people, to drag us through the streets and set us on fire in no hyperbolic, like, figure of speech. Those were the words that were used. calling me an it, dehumanizing me, throwing insult after insult at me. And at first it didn't really affect me. At first I thought it was going to be some small outlier of people. Some minor number, some tiny group. It was going to mean nothing. But no, it was thousands, tens of thousands, more and more every hour. I was bombarded. I turned notifications to Twitter off. I would get on there and see what my friends were doing, how they were interacting with me. But between every one of those positive interactions and those friendly interactions that I had with my mutual followers, it was just more of it. There was more. And I would block them, and I would report them, and there would be like a dozen more after that within the time frame that it took me to even do that. The internet's had a very toxic relationship with trans people for a long time, but that's not really, I don't think, the reason that I really want to make this video, other than, telling you that as a way of kind of helping you understand. I've been going through a lot. I've been severely depressed. I've been going through a lot of things, like being taken off my antidepressants and how I grappled with my depression after that, and how my doctor ghosted me. And I don't really know how to, not use my medication as a crutch in that situation. And I get that that's kind of unhealthy of me, but also I was way healthier, and I was getting better, and I was, I feel like I was doing so well. My truck almost flips over there. But I was almost doing like so well, prior to being taken off my meds, and even after that, up until the Twitter stuff. While I was still struggling with my feelings about my past relationship, getting better. I was becoming healthier. Police barricade's not going to stop me. But then all of that happened, and it compounded, and I couldn't find energy for anything. And I really am truly sorry for my absence, as always. And it's getting old. I sound like a broken record, and I should just do better, and I get that. But I wanted you to know I'm trying, and I'm still here, and I'm at the very least always going to come back to try. For those of you that have stuck around, thank you for still being there, patiently waiting for my next upload. I'm going to restart the things that I was doing, the projects that I had. That includes, yes, the League of Legends All Champ Challenge, as dumb as it was, and as I feel unhealthy as my both gameplay and reactions to things in that series or at the time. I feel like I can handle things better now. And maybe maybe this break was healthy, and maybe it was what I needed. I'm still, struggling. I'm trying to find a new place to live and trying to find a new job. And all of that. And I've never really done any of this on my own. So it's going to be a long road ahead, and it's going to be difficult. So like I said, the content is going to pump out slowly for at least a little while, and it's not going to be super consistent or frequent. And I can't promise you anything except that I'm here and I'm always going to return, and then no matter what happens. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and listening to this little rant. I hope everything's going okay with those of you that are still here. And I guess for the rest of the video, just enjoy my terrible, awful driving and how I was kind of just honestly too nervous about my driving to, at the end of this, park the trailer manually. But yeah, thank you, and remember to subscribe because there's more to come. And I'll do my best to live up to whatever silly expectation I've set for myself with this video and this voiceover. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the drive. Thank you.